What's going on, fam? It's your boy Rebuke, and what's up with it, man? And I got this story right here, courtesy of Law and Crime. Very polite man who decapitated woman, chopped off all her fingers, toes, and stuffed them in a suitcase found in his home, pleads guilty. And shout out to David Harris for bringing us this story. And right here, we're actually looking at this devil that done everything that I just read up above to this young lady right here. And why he thought that that was a good idea, I do not know. But let's dive deep into the details so that we can get a better understanding of exactly what transpired. Brian Montez Williams pleaded guilty to murdering Melody Gambetti in her Clarksville, Indiana apartment in 2021. Williams allegedly decapitated Williams and chopped off all her fingers and toes. And the picture is courtesy of the Clark County Jail. All right. And her picture, Gambetti's photo, is from her obituary. May she rest in peace. How sad and what a terrible way to go. An Indiana man who allegedly murdered a woman and then proceeded to decapitate her and cut off all her fingers and toes and stuffed them in a suitcase that was found in his home has pleaded guilty, according to court records. Brian Montez Williams pleaded guilty on Monday to murder in the July 26, 2021 death of 67-year-old Melody Gambetti at her apartment in Clarksville, Indiana, which is on the border with Kentucky. Williams, 38, faces up to 55 years in prison, Louisville Fox affiliate WDRB reported. A probable cause arrest affidavit says the Clarksville Fire Department was dispatched to an apartment fire, and once they entered the home, they found a woman, later identified as Gambetti, on the ground, decapitated and missing all her fingers and toes. Man, I can't believe that. Why would you do that to someone? Detectives talked with neighbors who said there was a suspicious man wearing a tank top and rubber boots going door to door that day at the apartment complex, asking people if he could do community service work. One of the neighbors said the man identified himself as Brian W. and gave him a phone number so the neighbor could call him if he had any work in the future. Neighbors also described the man as very polite, the affidavit said. Well, he wasn't too polite if he cut a lady's head off along with all her fingers and toes. There's nothing polite about that devil right there. A detective dialed the number and Williams answered and told them where he lived. They went to his home and he came out wearing the same rubber boots neighbors had described, according to the affidavit. He confirmed the story that neighbors had told detectives about seeking community service work and said he left the area around 5 p.m. and went to a friend's house at a nearby apartment complex. Surveillance footage from a home across the street from Gambetti's apartment shows a man matching Williams' description walking into her apartment at 12:42 p.m. and exiting at 3:51 p.m., carrying two suitcases. Williams put the two suitcases in the back seat of Gambetti's car and then drives away, the affidavit said. Wow. Detectives obtained a search warrant for Williams' apartment where investigators made a grisly discovery. They found Gambetti's head inside of one of the suitcases. In a plastic container with a lid inside a suitcase, they found several of her fingers and toes. Officers also found a small handsaw with apparent human tissue, hair, and blood on the blade, according to the affidavit. The suitcases also contained Gambetti's driver's license and credit cards. Gambetti's car was found at the apartment complex where Williams' friend lived. Man, you can't make this up. Police believe Gambetti was stabbed in a home invasion and burglary gone wrong and had no apparent connection with Williams, DRB reported. Williams was charged with murder, arson, auto theft, and theft. All but the murder charge was dropped as part of the plea deal, records show. He will be sentenced on December the 11th. According to her obituary, Gambetti worked as the benefits coordinator at the Sunoco packaging plant in New Albany before it closed in 2016. She was very devoted to her Sunoco family, and even though she was offered job opportunities locally and elsewhere with Sunoco, she wouldn't leave as long as there were people still there. She was faithful to the end. She loved the people and her job, the obituary said. Sounds like a nice lady. Gambetti then went on to work for the News and Tribune newspaper before she retired about 4 months before her death. She also frequently volunteered at the Ronald McDonald's house in Louisville before her death, the obit said. Steve Burks, a pastor at First Assembly of God, where she attended, told local ABC affiliate WHAS that Gambetti was a woman of faith. She was one of those women, when you meet her, you just have an instant connection, and that is what was so amazing about her, he said. Whoa, man. You know, the things that these dumb criminals do to take, people's loved ones away. You know what I mean? I never understand it. But hopefully, he'll get convicted and get stretched, and he'll never be free to do that to anyone again. YouTube, drop your comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to click on that notification bell, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Shalom.